People, Deluded, I'm back again. I'm here with a special guest. I've actually got a surprise for you. We've been trying to get this done for a while, but he's a busy man. Today he was doing a lot of exercises on Instagram. Sam, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. You?
I'm good, man. Apart from, lockdown, I've got my health, but I'm just bored at home, man. What about yourself?
Yeah, it's the main thing that people are staying safe, but we just got to get on with it.
Where are you? Are you still in London or have you gone back up to Sunderland?
Nah, I'm at home. I'm up north, so
Okay.
yeah, I managed to get home just before the lockdown actually happened.
Okay, so you actually went up there without this in mind, and it just happened to have happened.
Well, it was like the day before the lockdown actually happened. I managed to get home.
Oh shit!
Then when I got home, yeah, it just happened. So we didn't come back.
You're lucky, man.
All my stuff and everything's still in London.
Oh, so you're down to the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like I said off camera, you still got your pictures behind you though, man. So
yeah.
Oh man, what have you been doing to pass the time in the lockdown, anyways?
Basically, I've just been training every day. We get our programs off Arsenal. We do different types of running, and obviously, I put my own stuff into it as well, like stuff with that coach that you seen this morning on a live session. I do some hill running, and I've basically bought a net for a goal. And you know them ones that you put in front with the little holes in the top corner? Yeah, just the accuracy, just bought a few of them, some balls, and just by myself do some shooting.
That's what you can really do. So it's just really just keep ticking over and that.
Just ticking over, exactly, yeah.
Cool. When are you guys, have you been given any word of when you're trying to return to football at least, or going back to just training and stuff?
Well, the 18s and 23 season is like been officially cancelled by the Premier League. So I think we're just going to go back next season. So about the 29th of June for pre-season. If everything's fine with the lockdown, hopefully we can go back the 29th of June and get match fit again.
How did it feel? How did it feel for you, obviously, because you was having a fairly decent season? How did it feel that this lockdown took place?
Yeah, I was gutted, to be fair. Obviously, we had international breaks coming up. I was meant to be going away with England 2 days after the lockdown happened, so that was a nightmare. But obviously, people's health's the main focus. Like that comes first over anything. So you just gotta accept it and get on with it. To be fair.
Exactly. You can't really complain. So prior to the, prior to this lockdown, how would you describe the way the season was going for you personally? You were scoring goals. The season at under 18 was a bit mixed. You made your 23s debut. How did it go? How was it going, man?
Yeah, I thought it was going all right. Obviously, we struggled at the start of the season, the 18s. We didn't start that well, but we grew into it, I thought, towards the end. We started getting decent results, like Chelsea away and stuff. Obviously, me personally, breaking into the 23s, I wish I could have did that a bit more. But it is what it is, and obviously, when I played for them, I thought I did quite well. So, yeah.
How different is 18s and 23s football? Have you found it?
It's much different. The 23s is a lot faster, physical, because you've got big lads, older. 18s, I've been playing it quite a long time now. Third or fourth season playing it. So it's just like, it's a bit slow compared to 23s, do you know what I mean? 23s is more realistic.
Yeah. Wait, you said you've been playing this for 3, 4, 5 years. How old are you? You're 18, right? 19, right?
Yeah, because at Sunderland, I used to play 18s when I was like 15, 16. So I've been playing it quite a while.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, you've been exposed to that a while. But let me ask you this. How different is it at 18s level this season? Because, you weren't necessarily the youngest last year, but you was a first-year scholar. This year, you and Ben are second years. So you're almost like the ones that should lead by example and responsibility. How has it been different? How's it been different in the 2 years for you?
Obviously, the first season, we were unbelievable in the league. And the older lads, to be fair, they did a good job of looking after the younger lads. But this year, me and Ben have tried to take that on from the lads last year, and we did all right. Like from the start of the season, we didn't have that much of a good bond with the first year because obviously they've just come into Colney. We're already there.
You've been there for a minute.
Yeah, we're sharing. Then we have to share a changing room, so we don't know each other that well. And then obviously, as the season went on, we got to know each other better, and then that's when the results started to come really.
How's it?
As we got a better bond, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. What would you say has been your best and worst game this season for you personally at under 18s? Because you've scored a lot of cracking finishes.
The best game was probably Brighton at home in the Youth Cup, I would say. I should have got a hat-trick, to be fair, but
yeah,
I scored 2. I should have got a hat-trick. Yeah, it was a good result. We're all buzzing after the game. The worst game. Let's think. The worst game. For me personally, it was at the start of the season against West Ham.
Oh yeah,
I had to come off after 5 minutes, I think. Straight away, I got injured. I had to come straight off, and yeah, that was the worst game for me.
It makes sense, man. Yeah, that was terrible for you. What foot are you? I've always wondered. Now that I've got you here face to face, what foot are you?
No one knows.
Both. Yeah, see, I see you take free kicks with both. I'm like, you're taking the pee a bit now, man.
Nah. Basically, when I was little, I was mostly right-footed.
For real?
But, yeah.
I would have thought you'd have said left. Now you're a freaking man.
But it's weird, because like when I'm writing, like say if I'm writing, I'd write with my left hand.
Same.
Yeah, but I'd draw with me right. Nah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
It's weird. It's like so a bit of it's natural, a bit, but obviously I was predominantly right, and then over time, my dad used to take it to the park and just constantly, like every day, left foot, right foot. So,
is your dad a reason for why you're so good technically? Because I look at how you play football, and you very much, you can tell you from a young age you've got the basics on lock, control, look up, passing and moving. Has the technical ability always been something you guys are focused on?
Yeah, definitely. He's always took us to sessions, like he's missed a lot of work to take us to football, and like he's took us to the park when I was a young kid just to constantly working on both feet, touch. So yeah, he's did a lot. Did a lot.
Obviously, I know you play for Arsenal now, obviously, previously Sunderland, but take me back to how football started. Obviously, your dad, I no doubt, took you to the park to play, but what was your early beginnings with football?
The early beginnings was, I used to play for a Saturday, like a little Saturday league in Durham. And obviously, I remember like I was about 5, 6, and we were playing like top of the league. The opposite team were Sunderland, we were Durham. And yeah, we got beat. But I remember like I got the ball, ran through the whole team, scored. But there was a Sunderland scout there, and he come to watch it. He come to watch another kid, not me.
Oh wow!
So I was lucky, like just right place, right time.
So
and he come to watch another kid on my team. Yeah. He went to come and watch another kid on my team. See me do that. He's like straight after. Yeah, come another trial. When I was like 6, but I trained once with Sunderland. Got signed up after my first session.
Oh wow! So how long was you with this Saturday team before Sunderland took a look at you?
Because back then, obviously you were allowed to play for Saturday teams and academy when you were like 6-ish, 5, 6. But I was playing at like 4. I was playing with older people. Like they'd have been 6, I'd have been like 4, just running about.
Wow. You was always meant to play football in that case. So yeah. You said, do you remember your trial at Sunderland? Like you said, you signed first time. Do you remember much about it?
Yeah, it was like we used to train at a leisure centre.
Oh.
Because the indoor wasn't built. So we used to train at this like old leisure centre with some AstroTurf. So yeah, just first session. Then after I was going home, I was like just walking out normally, like, oh, I'm done. Then obviously the scout was like, oh, Sam, is your dad here? I was like, yeah. Went and got my dad, and then straight from there.
The rest is history, sort of thing.
Yeah, the rest is history.
I mean, yeah, man. So, I mean, Sunderland, I assume you're still a Sunderland fan. You'll always be a Sunderland boy at heart. Why did you leave?
It was hard to leave, but Arsenal, such a massive club. I was a bit in my comfort zone at Sunderland. Like, Do you know what I mean? And I
Mm.
wanted a big test, and obviously Arsenal, massive test, massive club, and I couldn't really turn it down. Like, it's just a massive club, and I was so excited by it. Me and my dad. Like, obviously there was quite a lot of interest at the time, but Arsenal was the one at the time.
How long was
Definitely.
Arsenal following you for?
I think they must have been watching for quite a while, but I obviously didn't have a clue. Do you know what I mean? Then I think they might have got in touch with my agent or something like that, or got in contact with Sunderland. God knows what happened there, but yeah,
Was
they must have
Arsenal?
been watching a while.
Yeah, they must have. Was Arsenal the only club that was interested in you?
There was a few more from abroad, and yeah, a few more from England as well.
Not to get you into anything, but I mean, I have seen a picture of you wearing a Man United shirt when you was a boy. He's cool with that now, folks. Allegedly, United were interested in you at the time. If they were, like, humour me, if they were allegedly, what picked you to sign for Arsenal over your alleged boyhood club at the time?
The pathway that I've been given, like, that had been shown us. Obviously, I look at clubs that push you through. To be fair, Man U do as well, but at the minute, Arsenal, I think, are doing really well for it. Obviously, you've got Bukayo, Joe Willock, all them, Emile, Reece, and you look at that and you think, wow, like, they've come through just like a normal academy player. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, it's a bit of an inspiration to a lot of young kids who play for Arsenal, especially the younger boys who are coming there.
Sorry, go on. Keep cutting you off.
Especially like the younger boys who get a scholarship, come to Conley. They see that and they're like, yeah, this is a big opportunity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you ever, how do I make this make sense? Do you ever have to pinch yourself that you're at Arsenal? I mean, I assume you've trained with the first team a couple of times.
Yeah.
Do you ever have to pinch yourself and think, wow, like, this is a great opportunity?
Yeah, you do, to be fair. Like, obviously training with such big players, like, the first time when I was stood next to like Aubameyang or Ozil, you're like I went back in and I was like, is this actually, like, is it real? Like, yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was just, and then like, then you just have to switch on, think like, this is what I do. So you need to forget about that side of it until after. Then you'd be like, oh, like.
He was the best in training. Well, he was the player, maybe not necessarily the best, but what was the player when you was training? You thought, wow, you're like, I need to take parts of what you're doing and apply it to myself. You're a good player in the first team environment.
In the first team?
Training with them, yeah.
I think Ozil, you know.
Everyone says that.
A lot of people like get on him and stuff, but he's got vision. He can see what other people can't see, basically, and it's frightening how good it is. So yeah, I'd say Ozil.
That's a good question. I've always wanted to ask you this. Like, most people see you as a striker. You play up front a lot of the time, 9 times out of 10. You can obviously play flanks. I always say in my videos, people forget you can actually play behind the striker. So that's about 4 or 5 positions. Where are you most confident, and in an ideal world, where would you see your future?
For me personally, obviously as a number 9, but like for England, I'd play number 9, just 9. But I've always been able to be mobile, move right, left, 10, 9. At Sunderland at times, I even was in midfield. Like, I've been everywhere. So, but if it's good for me, because if in the future I need to do a job somewhere, like, I can do it. Do you know what I mean? If someone gets injured and I need to move there, I'm happy to do it. So, yeah.
So with that being said, and I've always wanted to ask you, like, I could probably list what I believe your strengths are, but what would you say are your strengths and a possible weakness, if you believe you have any, in your game?
For me, finishing's a strength. Obviously, 2 foot, 2-footed. Vision, movement, and a possible weakness would be heading.
Yeah, I don't see you score too many of them, my guy. Oh, man, I don't blame you. If I go back to Sunderland for a second, compare it to Arsenal, what's the key differences for someone who's never going to go into them environments? What's the key difference between the two teams, or the way they do things, or the way they develop you for, just anything?
Sunderland, we did a lot of team training, with Arsenal, we do a lot of team training and we'll do a bit of individual work as well. So they're always looking to like develop the player and to obviously take it to the next level. Where it's something that might not have been like that because obviously, just like, I don't think it was unbelievable. Like, it's still a great academy to be fair, but I think Arsenal's just that like next level. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's to head.
Like at the end of the day, it's Cat 3 versus Cat 1. Essentially, these sort of things are
exactly
sort of thing. Yeah.
And Sunderland was Cat 1 when I was there
at the time. Wow.
Yeah. I think it still is, you know. It might be going to Cat 2.
I might be doing them a disservice. They still might be up there. They still produce a lot of young talent.
But honestly, like, people think of something like, oh, might not be like the best academy, but facilities-wise, ridiculous. And they produce some players. Obviously, you've got Henderson, a lot of Martin Waghorn. There's quite a few, to be fair. But Arsenal, just like next level. It's like the elite, isn't it?
Who was it you looked at? To go back to Sunderland, just because you said it, was there a player you looked up to at Sunderland, like a player in the first team or an academy player you thought, wow, I want to be like you, sort of thing?
Yeah, obviously, looking up at the first team, you had some top players at the time. Although he used to play for Tottenham, obviously Jermaine Defoe, like,
you're gonna kill us, man.
Great finisher though.
Yeah, he was a good player, man.
Yeah, he was a great finisher, natural finisher. And I always used to look up. Obviously, I had a season ticket at Sunderland, went to every game. And his finishing was top draw, to be fair. So yeah.
How do you
and
feel?
He had a great attitude. He was such a professional, like on and off the pitch. Off the pitch, he would always be in the gym working hard, and I used to look at that and think, yeah, I want to be like that.
So if I had to ask you, what have you taken any sort of tips out of Defoe's game and tried to add it to your own?
Yeah, well, I trained with him once when I was at Sunderland. I was still young, but we did a shooting session, and when he shoots, it's so sharp. Like, he won't bring his foot all the way back. It'll just be like a quick bang. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I watched that and I was like, yeah, I've got to try and start and do that. And then, to be fair, I practiced that quite a lot.
How much do you practice set pieces? Because like I said, I have to ask about
every day.
That you can
pretty much after every session. I'd stay up for like half an hour, do some free kicks, shooting, movement.
I've always wanted to ask you as well, in a particular moment, because I've seen you score free kicks in a game with your left and right. How do you decide? Obviously, the angle plays a part, but how do you decide, I'm going to take this on my left, or I'm feeling my right foot today, sort of thing?
It would just be natural. Like, like I'd put the ball in whichever way. It's just natural instinct. But obviously, the angles, it depends there. But sometimes I just put it down, don't even think about it. I just walk back, and whichever side I'm at, I'm just like, oh, I'll just take it.
That makes sense, my guy, man. Is there any sort of players you model your game on?
It sounds a bit mad. You won't expect it, but Rooney, like a kind of Rooney kind of player.
That's believable.
Obviously,
I would have thought Van Persie,
Yeah, a lot of people say I play like him, similar. But yeah, Rooney, obviously, he's one of my favourite players. Like, work rate, desire. He's got that inner desire, what a lot of players don't have. A bit of a nasty streak, and he's finishing.
It's
top jaw. You've got people like, obviously, Arsenal players like Thierry Henry, Bergkamp. Like, I've always looked up to them, always.
Did you set yourself any targets at the start of the season?
Basically, to just keep scoring goals and stay in the England squad, like stay in the England setup, keep scoring in there. And to be in the 23s, starting regular, but obviously didn't get quite there, but hopefully.
Man.
Just need to be patient.
Yeah, you definitely got to be patient. Like you said, you were starting. Sadly, the break came at the worst time because you were starting to figure that thing a bit more, man. So I take it as the goal is to obviously assert yourself there. What was I going to ask you? Have you spoken with, because Mertesacker, from a lot of people I speak to, Mertesacker's doing some great work at that level. What's your relationship with Mertesacker like? Yeah,
it's good. He knows everyone's name in the club. Like, he's a great academy director. Massively respected, such a nice person, and you can just talk to him. Anyone can talk to him. You can have a conversation. Like, such a nice man, and he always wants to push people to the next level. Always, such a positive mindset. Yeah.
looking at, you mentioned pathway, and I think there's a pathway for everybody at Arsenal. But I look at it, I see Sam Greenwood, Balogun, Tyrese John Jules. First team level, you've got Aubameyang, Lacazette, and probably Eddie. So that's a handful of strikers. How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel there's a pathway for you to make it as a striker at Arsenal? I think there is.
I think there is, definitely, but you just need to be so patient. That's the key. You just need to be very patient because obviously them lads are older than me. I'm still a 2002. So yeah, I just need to be patient and obviously like keep performing myself, and if I do that, then I should be able to push on.
How do you deal with I don't know the right word, but for want of a better word, I'll say pressure. I say pressure because, you know, you're Sam Greenwood. I'm pretty sure if you go in your Instagram DMs, you've got people saying 1,000 retweets and can I get your shirt? Or all of this sort of, all of this sort of mad stuff. How do you deal with all of that? Like, is it overwhelming? Because I speak to you here and there. You're a very humble person. You're just like, if you didn't know you played football, you know, you'd be a normal lad. Can it be overbearing? Does it make you feel uncomfortable at times? All this sort of talk of you and whatnot.
The thing is, I appreciate like every fan because I'm one myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a fan myself, so like I've been there, when I was a kid, texting players, begging them for stuff. So like when I was a little kid, I've been there myself. So whenever anyone tries to text, I always try and answer. If it's like if I can, because I just respect people's support.
Without getting you into too much trouble, and be as vague as you possibly can, you were linked with a couple of other clubs away from Arsenal a few months ago. And I didn't think there was nothing in it. Was there anything in it?
To be fair, I actually don't even know. My agent deals with all that stuff, and he wouldn't tell us. Do you know what I mean? Unless something was concrete. So, like.
God, because I was going to get the guys down there. I was going to say, you know, Sam Greenwood's not allowed to leave this club until he makes it at Arsenal and whatnot. The only time he can leave is if Madrid and Barca come for you, man. That's the only time you're allowed to leave, man. You need to be our number 9 in a few years, or even next year, hopefully, man.
Hopefully, man. But yeah, unless like they approach me, I would never know. Do you know what I mean? I like to stay outside of all that stuff. Just focus on football. That's it.
So talk to me about England. Now, when did you first get called up by England?
I got first called up when I was about 15. I think that's when it starts, under 15. I got into the squad late. Actually, no, we had the camps where they look at all the players.
Yeah.
I went to the camp. I didn't get selected for the first game against Turkey.
This is why you're at Sunderland, right?
Sorry?
This is still why you're at Sunderland, right?
Yeah. So I didn't get selected for the first one. I was out of the squad for quite a while. Then I made my debut against Uruguay, scored on my debut. Then I didn't go back again for a while. And then after that, obviously I made the move to Arsenal, started performing a bit. I was getting selected for every camp, and ever since then. Last season, I think I got 15 goals in 19 games or something for England. So, yeah, did well. And obviously, this season I've got quite a few, but obviously ended a bit early, didn't it? So.
Sadly, yeah. What was I going to say to you? Euros last year. Now, I remember you played well. Noni played well. He's now at PSG. What was your feelings around that, man? Because I do think it was a bit disappointing in the way we went out. We didn't really progress far enough as we could have, in my opinion.
Yeah, we genuinely believed that we could win that, genuinely. But we didn't have a full squad at the time. There was a lot of players missing. The group was very hard. Very hard. We obviously had us, France, Holland, and Sweden. Like, we were like, what? When that obviously got drawn. But to be fair, we drew against France. Our results weren't even too bad. We got beat off Holland, which was obviously, it's always going to be a hard game against them. We've got some great youth. And we won against Sweden, and we still didn't get through. So
you're against France, right?
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah, that was disappointing. Is there a player that stands out from that tournament for you? They could be at England or they could play for another country.
I remember this French midfielder, big guy. I think he plays for PSG. Quite skinny, tall. He's a bit like Pogba. Like, he plays exactly like Pogba. He was very good. Very good.
Yeah. Oh man, he must have been a beast to play against.
Yeah,
that man.
He was a beast, man.
Who's the best player you've played against, just domestically, like for Arsenal or Sunderland or wherever?
Best player I've played against. Probably is Renier Jesus.
Yeah, that's a shout.
Yeah, I'm actually friends with him, to be fair.
He's gone to Madrid
the
now.
Brazilian.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, he's very good. Very technically very good. We played them about a year ago. We actually won like 3-1 or something. Me, Miguel, Eunice was playing, and we still won. But yeah, he's still ripped. He's still ripped.
Oh man, he's been the hardest at club level, or the hardest team you've had to play at club level.
Hardest team. Ooh. Obviously you've got Chelsea, Tottenham, Real Madrid, and when we went to Bali, they were good. And you've got Inter Milan as well. Inter Milan were good. So we played against some top sides.
What was that tournament like?
Yeah, it was a great experience. Great. Obviously, the heat was mad. Playing in that heat, honestly, it was like 35 degrees or something. Like the first game we got there, the hottest I've ever been. I thought my head was gonna pop, you know. So, and like, the second game was on a night, so it was a bit cooler than the third game was boiling. But it was a great experience. Obviously, playing out there, the fans are crazy. Yeah. Love Arsenal. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Playing against teams that we're not used to as well. Obviously, Indonesia, All-Stars, Inter Milan and Real Madrid. Great experience.
Teams you don't typically play against.
Exactly.
Did you feel you had to change the way you played, obviously because of the heat?
Yeah, definitely. You couldn't just go out and press like what a normal Arsenal team did. And obviously, like, playing against Indonesia, our team technically way better, but obviously they're from that country. So they're used to that. We got beat because they're used to that heat, and we're like, Jesus, like, it's boiling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sounds easy, like watching the game through a camera, but you're like, when you're there, the humidity, it's ridiculous, you know.
Do you feel you learned a lot from that experience?
Yeah, definitely. Because when we played against like Real Madrid, first 10 minutes, obviously you have to be careful because we don't know how they play. And so we just, first 10 minutes, we found out how they were playing. Then we adjusted ourselves to manage that. So, yeah.
Who was Arsenal's player of the tournament for you in that?
Probably, I'd say Ben did well. Charlie Patino did quite well. I remember him doing well. Like, yeah, he did well against Real Madrid. Yeah, I scored quite a few as well.
Yeah. That's why I said I knew you wouldn't say yourself. I was thinking this guy needs to say himself because he was on fire in that tournament. Oh man. What would you say is the most important aspects of being a footballer to you? Are you like we touched on it earlier? Is it technical? Is it physicality? I personally believe it's technical because once you've got that down, you can develop other things.
Yeah, I'd say I'd agree with you technically, but in my opinion, you've got to have like heart and desire because that can get you so far. Work rate, heart and desire, and you don't need any no ability for that. It's just if you put everything into it, that can get you so far. Do you know what I mean? Like if you work your balls off, that can take you to the next level more than the person who's technically good and doesn't work hard. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people will be like, yeah, I'd prefer him because he puts everything in. So yeah, that's one of my most important. But obviously, you've got to be technically good as well.
Have you seen players just on that? Have you seen players who are good technically not reach their full potential, not potentially be where they should be at the moment because of kind of resting on their laurels and ultimately complacency? Then.
Yeah, 100%. I see it so much.
Do you ever
So
do you ever think to have not have a word because it's not really any of your problem, but do you ever feel like should I grab your ears and say, you know, you
yeah,
have the
sometimes I
potential
do.
there, stop messing about?
Yeah. I think about it in my head a lot when I'm just by myself, like, or if I see an Instagram video, like, I'm like, oh, thing is, like, some people are so good technically, but they just don't have that inner desire and work with it. But I think some people can be born with it as well, if you know what I mean. Like, you see Rooney, he's like a hothead.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? He's like
He's there
angry.
already, yeah.
He's there already, do you know what I mean? And I feel like some people have to focus to do that. With me, I would just do it naturally, work me hardest, like, every game.
Would you describe yourself as hot-headed? Because you see it a bit.
Nah.
I see it a bit. I do see you like to have a bit of a moan sometimes. I see it. I see it.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes.
Oh man.
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh man. If I could ask you, like, I'm pretty sure the answer, but for the people listening, if you had your way in the next 5 years, what would Sam Greenwood be as a professional footballer? Where would he be in terms of stature? Would he be a Premier League footballer playing regularly for Arsenal, or would he still be trying to make his way into football?
In the next 5 years, hopefully playing for the first team in the Premier League, and obviously playing for England first team, hopefully. That's my dream.
Yeah, I mean, I back you to do it, man. I back you to do it because you've got the technical ability, you've got good people around you, and what I like about you is you have a long way to go. You know you're not there yet. You don't rest on your laurels. Like, I really see the work you put in and whatnot. And it brings me to my final question for you. Well, my final round of questions. How do you deal with setbacks? Have you had any injuries? Have you had to deal with like injuries? Football's a game of opinions. Has there been times you haven't been in, whether it be for England, Arsenal, Sunderland, not in the team where you genuinely believe you should be?
Yeah. I've never actually been injured. Touch wood. It never happened.
Man, yeah. God willing.
Setbacks, like, obviously being away with England, not being in the team, like, it's so hard. Like, it gets to me so much. But me and the striker, he's called Joseph Gelhardt.
Yeah.
Plays for Wigan first team.
He's a baller as well.
Yeah. Me and him are like so close friends. But like when he's starting or I'm starting, like, it gets to both of us, do you know what I mean? But we're sharing the same room and we just try not to show to each other. Like, we're just like, do you know what I mean? Because obviously, like, we're happy that he's starting, but then again, that's my position.
You want it to be you, yeah.
Yeah. So, and like, it's the same with like the 9 shirt. When they're reading the shirt's numbers out, like, obviously it's being me and it's being him, and like, you're just hoping it's you, but obviously you're happy for him at the same time. But you just have to stay mentally strong, basically. Mentally strong, definitely. And obviously, with stuff like that, I always bounce back as if with it, like, the next session I'd train me hardest. So they're like, oh yeah, he's got a good attitude that he doesn't mind. He still wants that 9 shirt, obviously. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
If I had to ask you, and I don't believe in always publicly telling people, but what would be your goals for next season? Because this season's been a write-off now. What would be your goals for next year? If we could talk in a year from now, what progress would you have liked to have made?
To be obviously starting in the 23s every week and training with the first team a lot. That's what I want to do. I want to prove a point in the first team.
That makes sense, man. That makes sense. In relation to the 23s and the 23s league, generally, do you think it's good preparation for players to go into the first team environment? Because like you said, you haven't done it yet on a consistent basis and you're trying to do that.
Yeah.
Or do you think players get to a point where it's like, they're not quite part of the first team, they're too good for 23s, they're kind of going through the motions sort of thing?
Yeah, and that's why I think it's good for them to go out on loan to maybe like a lower league or something. And I think like pros like that bring you straight back down to earth, especially in the lower leagues. Like, you can't be messing about.
Yeah. You get a kick.
And obviously, I've seen it for myself a bit with like when I used to train with Sunderland 23s. Like, not saying it's a lower club, but you've got lads who are like aggressive and stuff, and if you're big headed, they'll go mad basically. And I think that's the only thing at Arsenal that needs a bit more of like a nastiness. with the players. Not to be like nasty people, just
have a bit more rough around the edges. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If like someone's being like a bit cocky, like then
be humble.
You can't be. Obviously, you've got to have that bit of swagger and stuff. But yeah, I think there needs to be a bit more nastiness. But obviously, that's good for when they go out on loan in lower leagues, and definitely.
You can definitely tell you're from Sunderland. Definitely tell you're from Sunderland with the way you.
What with the accent?
No, it's the way you're talking about working hard and things, and I really.
Yeah.
Like, everyone I know that's from up north and them sort of sides.
Yeah, it's just like working class. That's what it is.
Exactly, work your ass off, sort of thing. Yeah. You mentioned loan spell. Is obviously, I won't say a loan's anything on the horizon for you because you want to assert yourself. But if you got to a point where you're questioning your development, is a loan something you consider? And not to say you wouldn't do one or the other, but would you be more open to potentially going on loan to like a Germany or Holland where it's technical-based football more? Or would you like to go down to the lower leagues where it's your back towards goal? And as we spoke of people clamping you and whatnot if you take too long on the ball.
Yeah, I think both of them's good, both of them. Because I think in Germany, you've still got that, you've got the technical side, which is going to bring you on. And then in England, you've got the physical side, which is also going to bring you on. So I think it doesn't really matter where you go. You're going to come back a better player. That's my opinion.
That's a good example. And finally,
because it's first team football, isn't it? So
that's it.
You're playing with men.
Yeah, you scream to me someone that wants to be involved in the first team sooner rather than later, man. You really do.
Definitely.
And I get that. My final question to you, Sam, would be, what do you think is the most strongest attribute you need as a young professional footballer or a young footballer trying to be a professional footballer? Is it mental resilience? Is it, the ability to just focus on one thing? What do you think is the single biggest kind of thing that gives you a certainty to have success?
You've got to practice all the time. Like the mental side, you've got to be like, I want to do more than him. I want to do more than him. And you've got to be able to make sacrifices. For me personally, obviously moving away from home, that's a massive one. And you've just got to be able to give up things to achieve what you want to achieve. Have like tunnel vision. Do you know what I mean? Just tunnel vision on what you want to do.
What have you had to sacrifice already or give up?
Obviously living in London, like away from home, I don't see my family like hardly. Do you know what I mean?
How hard is that, man? Because people don't see this stuff. You're a young lad. You've got younger siblings. You've got a father and mother. You've got friends. How hard is that sometimes? Has it ever been hard being in London, being alone and stuff? Have you ever felt lonely and stuff?
Yeah. At the start, it's hard, man. When you first move away, so hard. But you've got to just keep switched on in your mind. Like, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? This is my dream. So, but obviously moving away from your family, it's hard, man. And then not seeing them a lot. Like sometimes you just like, I want to see them like this weekend. You know what I mean? But obviously
Apologies for that, folks. Technical difficulties. We've still got Sam. Apologies, Sam. What was you saying before it cut out?
Basically, obviously it's hard leaving home. And ever since I started to drive, I try to get home a bit more. It's a long drive, but has to be done. Has to be done sometimes just to see the family. And obviously, my dad sacrifices so much. He comes down every weekend to watch games.
See, people don't find that stuff out just because I think it's big to talk about parents and stuff. You don't necessarily know them. What sacrifices has your dad made? Obviously, he trained with you. He helped you play football. He took you to Sunderland. But in relation to this move to Arsenal, what exactly has he had to do? You mentioned he's had to drive and obviously misses his son. People don't see it. How often did he have to drive you for Sunderland to train him? Was it 3-4 times a week, if not?
It's crazy because obviously me, I've always did me extra work, like free kicks. So basically, days I wasn't even like meant to be in, I'd be like, Dad, can I go? Can I go? He'd always used to take us. Because obviously I lived 30 minutes away from Sunderland. I'd train. He'd wait in a shop for me to finish Tesco, have a cup of tea every day, and just come back and pick us up, like every single day. He did so much, to be fair.
So, what's been some of your proudest moments as a professional footballer already?
Obviously playing for England, it's an honour.
Massive.
Like massive.
Biggest
Honour. When you're there singing the national anthem, like obviously massive honour. obviously when I played for the 23s, I've scored on my debut as well.
The winner as well, if I remember.
Yeah, the winner.
Yeah, man. My guy, I was at that game. I can't even hear him. I was screaming off your name, man.
Yeah, but the biggest one, England. Like, you can't get any bigger than that, in my opinion. Like, it's emotional. Like when you're singing the national anthem, it gets to you in that. So, yeah.
How many caps have you got now?
I'd say nearly in the 30s.
And they forgive you physical caps, right? If I remember correctly, you literally
we used to. I think when we get to like under 19s now, we get our first like actual cap. But it all gets put on record how many times we play for England, and we get to keep our shirt as well every time. Every time, which is good.
I know you've got a younger brother. Does he kick ball?
Yeah, he will be. He's just turned 2, so it won't be long before my dad has him doing the same.
I mean, tell your dad we don't need him to play for Sunderland. He needs to come straight to Arsenal. If he's anything like his older bro, we need that, man. Like,
he will be.
What do you actually do away from football, my guy? Like, do you have any interest away from ball? Because many people don't like actually take the time to ask people this. I know you're a big music man.
Yeah, I love music. Love music. I like a bit of ping pong. Just chilling really. Games, movies. Like, I'm just a chilled out person.
You started cooking yet?
Nah, not yet. Not yet. I need to learn, actually. I need to.
Oh, man. Are you still in Diggs? Or have you moved to your own place now?
No, I'm still in Diggs.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I would move from that Diggs as well, so it's good, man. Yeah. I've moved a couple of times, but this one, very good, man.
Why did you move? It just had to?
Yeah, I wanted to be in with, Jordan McNair.
Yeah.
And Harry Clark. I'm in with them 2 now, so it's good banter.
Yeah.
Food's top, house is top. Lovely people look after us. Yeah. I wouldn't move from that one.
Have you ever, I'm jumping the gun a bit, but I always ask people this. Obviously, you're at the start of your professional career. Have you ever thought what you're going to do when you call it a day around 35 or 36 or whatever?
I haven't really thought of it. I think if I did well in football, just chill out.
Yeah. You're not on the coaching.
I did it now. What's that?
You're not down for the coaching?
Yeah, I actually would be. Definitely. I'd chill for a bit and then get into coaching.
Enjoy the rap star lifestyle that footballers have.
I definitely do. Favorite artist?
I see your Instagram post.
I've got a few,
List them, man. Let's go.
Lil Baby, obviously one.
You got some you got some good ears, man.
Uzi, Lil Uzi.
I don't feel him.
Some songs. Do you know?
I don't really feel him.
Gunner.
Yeah.
Who else? Obviously, Drake's new album's top, I think. Do you like that?
Yeah. So yeah.
Isn't it? Who's the other one? Who else? I like Youngboy. You don't like Youngboy? Do you like Youngboy?
You saw my Instagram post, innit? Where I said,
I've seen your Instagram.
Nice. Some songs, man. I think, do you know what it is? He just seems like he's screaming and shouting, man. Like, he's not my cup of tea, but some songs.
You definitely don't like 6ix9ine then.
Nah. You're gonna get me in trouble with that 6ix9ine stuff. Nah, definitely after the recent things that have come out, he can't get my cosign, man. He can't get my cosign, man. No. It's Lil Durk above everybody for me. Anyway.
Yeah, Lil Durk. His new album as well.
Yeah, it's hot, man. Every song's a banger for me. I can't lie to you.
It's good.
So what music do you listen to get you in the mood for games? Because if you're listening to Drake, there's a problem. I'm not gonna lie to you, my guy.
Nah, I listen to. I would listen to what the lads listen to. Like, obviously, we listen to Gooner a lot. Lil Baby. We have the speaker on. Like, the beats are decent. Get you up for it. For the 18s and me, for the 23s, it will be Harry Clark or someone like Flo. Yeah.
Who's the best DJ at all you lot?
Personally, I'd say I'm underrated. Me.
Oh, fun.
But when I get that Northeast music on, they don't like it.
Man said Northeast music. Oh, final question. Just I want to know. When I used to play football, like, and you mentioned it earlier with the Rooney angry thing. Like, I'm a pretty easygoing guy, but on the field, I wanted to be as angry as possible. Not over angry, but I'd listen to music that was a bit aggressive and stuff. How do you like to be? Do you like to be mellow? Do you like to be angry? Do you like to play like you've got a bit between your teeth? Do you actually like to play timid? What are you like?
Well, naturally, I'd be like pumped up. Do you know what I mean? Like ready, like
Sunderland mentality.
I like to calm myself down. I like to stay calm. Do you know what I mean? So I'd probably listen to more like relaxing stuff. So I'm a bit calmed down. I take deep breaths, especially like massive games like for England. You do Euros, for example. You're in the tunnel, you like the adrenaline's pumping around your body. So I like to like just. I tell you, I want to fight people when I'm next to them in the tunnel, but I just have to take deep breaths, like
calm down.
You know what I mean? Stay calm, yeah.
You've worded it differently, but that's exactly how I basically wanted to come.
Yeah, that's how you don't actually want to fight, but that's how that's how your body feels. Do you know what I mean? As if you're fighting, like the adrenaline's flying around. You're just ready.
Is there anything you try and do? Because I was a right back, not at you lot's level, but I was a right back. First 5 minutes, I wanted to just absolutely get in a 50-50 with the winger. That, in a positive way, that. So you don't try that.
Smash him.
Yeah. Is there anything you try to do within the first 5? Is it, I want to have a certain amount of touches? I want to try test the keeper? What is it, if any?
The first thing I would do is, if the ball come in, make sure the first thing I do is retain the ball, like touch, pass. Just keep it simple. Or my first shot, make sure it's a good one on target. Just make sure the keeper works. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, make sure the first thing I do is a good one. And then after that, the mindset's like, yeah, I've did that. I'm going to have a good game now. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you won that 50-50, you'd be like, yeah, he's not going to try that anymore.
He's not, that's what I used to be. He's not on it. It's not me you're going to embarrass, sort of thing. Has there ever been a game where you've learned a lot in the sense of you've tried to outpace a defender? He's too strong, he's quick, he's reading everything. Like you're just not, anything you're trying isn't happening. Yeah,
definitely. Everyone's had them games, haven't they, where you don't feel 100% now, and you try to do everything and it's just not working. So the thing is, I would get frustrated on the day. I would admit that I would get frustrated, but that's something obviously I need to control a bit more and keep focused on the game. And I think a lot of people that happens to, frustration. If everything's not going your way, then you're gonna start focusing on other things, like just trying to outpace them instead of just keeping the ball simple, getting your first touch right.
That makes sense. Who would you say is the best? I mean, we're all good players at Arsenal, under 18s to 23s, but who do you feel is the one, like excluding yourself, like, wow, he's a player sort of thing?
There's a lot of good players. It's a hard question.
I'm putting you on the pressure, man. Your friends, when they see your friends, probably going to message you and say, why didn't you say me?
Nah, but from the older lads, like the 23s, you've obviously got... it's hard, man. Even the lads in the first team, like Reece Nelson. Yeah, Reece is definitely one. Bakayo, 100%. Tyrese.
Baller.
Finisher. Flo. Trey's a player. Obviously, Ben.
Very underrated.
Trey.
Yeah, very underrated.
The centre backs, you've got Zek, which is technically good. Harry, Brave. There's so many.
Clark's been decent.
Zach Swanson, very underrated.
Consistent performance.
Zach Swanson, so consistent. Yeah.
You still in contact with the Sunderland lads?
Yeah. Especially, do you know who Bali is? Bali Mumba?
I was just about to say that. I would have thought you would have been, ain't you lot same age and whatnot? You should have been.
Yeah.
Cool.
Best mates since we're like 6. So stay in contact. There's another guy called Dan. Yeah. And obviously we're meant to be going on holiday again this year. But obviously,
where was you lot planning on going?
Marbella, I think.
Oh, is that you lot, yeah? I'm not going to talk too much. Is that you lot? Footballers on tour and that. Oh, man.
That's just a chill though, man.
Yeah, I know you know we can talk off this. You know, you gotta say on camera, man. I know you agree with, man. But it's been honestly, it's been a pleasure doing this with you.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you very much for coming through.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You remember the first time? I won't expand too much, but I remember the first time we spoke. I couldn't believe you replied. You was like, "I've seen your video on my stuff. I really like what you're saying." I genuinely thought you was like, it was a fake account. Like I had to look. I was on your account a few times. I was like, "I see the blue tick, but is this really Sam? Like, is this Sam?" It's like, oh, cool, man. Thank you very much. Because it's comments like that. In fact, it was your comment when you actually sent me that. I wasn't in the best place mentally. And I was thinking to quit this and stop doing this. But then you kind of gave me the motivation. That's why, on top of me just admiring you as a player, I admire you as a human being, man. And yeah, man, thank you. I
respect that.
My heart for that, my guy, man.
Same goes. I respect that.
But yeah, man. I don't want to take up
keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Obviously, I will, man. I'd want to see us in the future. You know, I'm established. You're Sam Greenwood for Arsenal. You know, I'm hoping that when you score at the Emirates, I'm in the crowd. You come and get that handshake. You know, I can get the girl leaving that because they can say, "Oh, Greenwood knows you." Like, yeah. Drop me a number. You know, see, but yeah, my guy, man, it means a lot, my dude, man. Seriously.
Nah, I appreciate it. It's no problem. Anytime.
Thank you, man. I don't want to take up any more of your time, so I'm gonna keep it moving, man. Thank you.
Oh, that's fine, bro. Thank you.